Good morning. This is Pam with Tattered Paper and Lace. Welcome back to my channel. If you have not subscribed, it would be great and I'd appreciate it so very much if you would. I will be showing you journals that I have made. Some will be for sale, and I also will be showing you some tutorials on how I do some of the things that I do. But today I wanted to share with you this McGuffey reader. It is from 1879, so it's 142 years old. It did not have its spine. It did have its text block. So I used some pages from the text block and remade the spine. And the bookmark is the color of the original spine. And it only had parts here and here that I peeled those off and glued them to this vintage ticking fabric, and that is now the bookmark. And I probably will sew on this some. I just haven't decided exactly what I want to do. So that's my bookmark. And this journal is 7.5 by 5. And the spine is about 2 inches. Let's see, make sure. Yes, the spine is about 2 inches. The spine was made using Nick Booksmith's tutorial on how to make this sort of spine. So this is fabric that has been painted and then distressed. And it's a hidden hollow back spine with a little bit of fabric showing out the top and bottom. There are 7 signatures with 180 pages. So when you go inside, I've used scrapbook paper for the end papers, made a pocket with a instant oatmeal package. So I have some collaging here, image from the internet, my handmade label there, and then I have This Book Belongs To tag that I made using an image from a book on how to embroider. And this is a nickel roller that has the only real significance this has, besides being the right color, is that it has the name Watkins on there, and Watkins is my maiden name. So I wanted to include it, and this is from Napoleon, Ohio. It says in very small letters right under Watkins. And then this is a playing card from a vintage game from my friend Tanya at Scribbles and Time. So go check out her channel. This is the title page from the book, and I have put just the finest lace that I have on the edges to reinforce those edges. I have used some of my faux vintage tape to any areas that were torn that needed some reinforcing. And then I also used piano roll tissue. My friend Sally at Studio Rat, she sent me part of her roll of piano player roll, and hers was a tissue sort, so I used pieces of that to reinforce the fold. On this side we have a butterfly that is fussy cut from a piece of wallpaper, and inside we just have some envelope ephemera that is tucked right in there. This is a perpetual calendar sheet from a spiral book that my friend Dee with the paper drawer shared with me. And this is some coffee dyed paper, excuse me, that's manuscript paper for musicians. Here I have a 1920s, 22, 23 report recording book for a teacher. And it was a little hardbound book for recording grades and attendance and that sort of thing in school. So some of the pages have writing on them, and I've put some in here with an antiquarian sticker. And then from Sally at the Studio Rat, also sent me a package of school-related ephemera when I was talking to her about doing a journal with this book and that I wanted it to be school-related. She sent me some things that she had that I included in here. So, Sally, thank you so much for your package of goodies. So this is a receipt from Schiff's Shoe Store from Los Angeles, and it's in here because, well, you go get shoes right before school because you need shoes, and that's your one pair for the year. And then I did not attach this in any way because, for one, it's kind of fragile, and for two, I liked the back side as well, so I just tucked it in between the pages. And then this is stamped with my corrugated cardboard line stamp. And I have this so that you can record a remembrance of a trip on the way to school. Usually at this time they would be walking. Another page from a different children's book with a little tuck spot collaged here with a little note in it. And then this is a pretend letter that's a 6x6 scrapbooking piece of paper. So I have just tucked those right in there. Little fabric collage here. Now this is a pocket made with Braille paper, and then I just inked that up, and it's a pocket behind and a pocket behind here and a pocket in here with just some printed ephemera. This is a reproduction of a report card and a bingo card, and this pocket is made with napkin decoupage onto tracing paper. So that tucks right in there. I didn't put anything in the back pocket. And then the other side of the report card book. And then this is the other side of the music manuscript book. And it's in a spiral notebook. And I took the spiral out so I could use the pages with their holes intact. And I have put this ribbon through each one of those. And I really like the way that looks. This is the other piece of the perpetual calendar, and this is the end of the first signature and the other side of the original page. Each signature starts with the original page from the book, and I have put this picture from a book. That's a picture of a family that looks like they're from probably the late 1800s, maybe. That is a similar time frame to this book, and I have just a little business card in here, and a little key tag, and then also this is from another book that I liked the sort of hieroglyphics of this, and then this little bit that had the alphabet on it. So that's tucked right in there. I used the other half. It was a big book, so I used the bottom half of this in another area you will see later. So here's another page, original page from the book, and I've just added an image here, a little collaging here with a vintage tag, and you can tell by the writing that this was from a good while back, and it's the woodenware from Orlando Mason, manufacturer of woodenware. Tuck that right in there. And then this is a photo of a lady with her puppy dog, tucked right in there, in this pocket, excuse me. And then this is another piece of that ephemera package that Sally at Studio Rat had sent me, and it is a report card from the public schools of Los Angeles from 1924. And I've just stitched on a little bit of fabric here. And that's the other side, and then I just have a little bit of collaging here, and then here is little napkin collaging here. Then here is the flyleaf of a different book. I like the grunginess of that, and I've added some ticking here with a little bit of ribbon, measuring ribbon there. This is another photo from the book, and that's just a mother and child. And in here, this is from scrapbooking paper, but it says McGuffey's Eclectic Primer. So it was quite appropriate for this book. And then just a little piece of note paper there. And then on this side, scrapbooking paper with a piece of fabric and vintage button on both sides of these. Another little piece of writing paper in this tuck spot, and a vintage flashcard. Now this piece of tape was originally on this page. I did not have to add that. It was already there. And on this side, I've just added some more of that measuring tape. And then a pocket on this side. And this, I love this. And this is a piece of packing tape from an Amazon package. I had to keep it because, well, it was just too cute. And it fits in color-wise in here, so I just added it. And this has a little card that says memories. And then over here, we just have collaging with some stamps. This is a cutout of a larger 5x7 photo that I had cut out some of the people for another project. And so I had these pieces left, and I just thought, well, I will cut out people as I can cut them out to use the rest of that 5x7 photo. And so that is that. And this was a picture of some people on the beach. The other side of the report card with a little fabric tab. The other side of the reporting sheet. So here's your report card, but this is what they would keep their record in before they filled out the report card. And then the other piece of the music manuscript. And here is the other side of the original page. And this is an image from the internet that is printed on tissue paper from my printer. So I will do a tutorial on how you do that as well. But that, I love that. And then you just decoupage it on just like you do a napkin. And it's the weight of a napkin because it was actually a napkin tissue. And then here is what was inside in this part of the spine. So that was still on the back. Not in very big pieces. This was probably the bigger piece of, and I think I've used a little bit more of it somewhere. And then another pocket here with just a little window that's got some vellum in it and a little butterfly on this tag. Sticks right in there, a little collage. This came from another book that I have. This is the beginning of the next signature. This is napkin decoupage on this original page. And then I have this little notebook that has these pages that have little quotes and sayings on them that are nice. Another of the music sheet. This is another piece of ephemera from my friend Sally. This is from 1941, and this is the teacher's agreement or contract. Teachers have to sign a contract every year. So this is that contract from 1941, and I've added a little bit of embellishing on it, a little collaging there. And then this is from another children's book, and this is from a book I have that is the artist of these images is I can't remember her name now, but she's a famous one. Can't remember her name. Anyway, I've put a little writing here that says True Friend, but this is Victorian Games. It's a remake, obviously, but it is Victorian Games and how to play them. So I have added this in here. And then this pocket is made from a Project Life card that was this size. Well, it was a little, I cut this down so it would fit, but it was this size. This is half of it. I cut it this way and turned one way and the other so I could have this little lattice pocket. And this is a Project Life card that is from the same set. So that's tucked in there. And then that's a piece of scrapbooking paper I tucked right there. And then this is another word from a scrapbooking paper that has these words on it. And I just tucked that right in there. This is from another book that's probably as old as this McGuffey reader. And it's an oversized book. So this picture I had to trim down. But I love it because it looks like these guys that should be in school and are not. And it says at the bottom down here, planning mischief. So I thought that was quite appropriate and kind of cute for in here. It is reinforced with fabric on its fold. This is cut from wallpaper, and that's just a little fabric tag that I had in my stash. The other side of that Victorian Games page. And then I have this other scrapbooking paper. I used to be a scrapbooker, so I have all kinds of paper that has these little quote strips. And this one says, by learning you will teach, by teaching you will learn. So I picked out the ones that had to do with school and learning and that sort of thing. This is the other side of the teacher's contract, just with a little embellishing. And then this is the other page of where I used the top of it. So now this is the bottom side of it. But the reason I wanted it is because I just love these vintage pages. So these are reproductions of these vintage pages, and this was originally going to be a page in the book, and I didn't get it in the book somehow for some reason. So I decided I would just fold it over this page and leave it loose, and then it is can be added in the book. The other side of that little notebook page. And here I've made a little scrappy pad. This is a piece of scrapbooking paper. And I just made bits and pieces of little fabric. You can tear it off, make a note, whatever. I wanted to leave this exposed because it's got the nice cursive writing there in this book. And this is a nice little poem, so I thought I'd leave that open. But I did cover up part of the poem over here with this piece of ephemera that says Altered Book. And this is stamped and then embossed, so it has a raised feel. Over here, again, this is the next signature, and this is napkin decoupage. And then I have, this is an image from the internet, and it is Eberhard Faber Ruby Pencil Erasers. And it was a two-part piece, and so I just made this flip up like it was in the box. And there is your Eberhard Faber erasers. I liked how that turned out. This is just a bought tag that was collaged already that I added this little cat to. And then this is another project life card with the pencils on it. This is from a childcraft book, World Book, Childcraft books. And it is one of those infamous paper chains that we always made at Christmas time. The nice thing about this one was it was not red and green. It was yellow and white, so I could use it in here, and I fussy cut it out and just folded it over the page because that's such a remembrance. And I am sure that back in that time that they also made paper chains when they could. Little fabric tab here, and on this fabric tab, can't really tell it much, I don't think, but that is an original staple from the pages in the book, and it is longer than normal. It is 3/4 of an inch long. Most of them are 5/8, I think, the ones we have today. But this staple is very heavy duty, just very wide. So I opened it up and then just put it back in. So I have that there. Then we have a little collaging here with a pocket. And my friend Dee with the paper drawer made this tag, and I added the tab to it. So that's tucked right in there. And that's on some kind of, I don't remember. But anyway, so this is a piece of paper with this printed number on it already. A little collage here, and this is stamped and embossed. And this is faux buttons. And I like the way this tag and tab stick out on this side. Collaging here. This is napkin decoupage onto the back of a piece of wallpaper border. Then I had added the lace, and I liked the different texture of this little heavier bit of lace than there is on the pages to reinforce. So this piece of wallpaper in the middle of here with napkin decoupage on the back. This is a piece of crocheted art that I have had in my stash forever. I collected things that I didn't know what I would ever even use them for, but I liked them, so that's what we have here. And so I just made that be a flip out using vintage ticking for that. Then this is some more bits and pieces from the original binding. This is fabric that's not from the binding. This and this is from the actual binding. And then this is a piece of paper that I stamped on that was from the actual binding. And then over here as well, I have another piece of the binding fabric here. And just made two little collages there. And what I really like about this, because this is a shorter page, I fold it over, and this is the actual piece from the spine that didn't have its leather on it. It has a little tiny piece here, and these are remnants, kind of the backing of it. But I just love the way this layers on top of that. So again, using some of the original binding materials. And this is the vintage ticking. Here's another little bit from that 5x7 picture that I am cutting little pictures out of. Another perpetual calendar. This is napkin decoupage onto original page, and this is the end of that signature. And so I think we are now going into the fourth signature. And then on the side, I just have an image from another book. This is an image that folds over. It was these two little ovals that were attached together, so I just folded it over the page. This is from a very old book. It had no date, but you could tell very fragile, very old. The images you could tell were of an older sort, so I used that as a little embellishment there. Then here, I extended this page with this piece of fabric and then some more measure tape. This is a measure tape ribbon, piece of scrapbooking paper. Then over here, the fabric sticks out past, and I don't like straight lines much, so I tore this top edge and used this, and this is from a reproduction 1908 Sears and Roebuck catalog, just a title part of one of the pages. And then here I have a rusted paper clip with this little pocket that I made from collaging from another book, and this is a piece of scrapbooking paper with just a little card inside this pocket. And this pocket is a bought pocket. I did not make that, and that just tucks right in there. And on this side, just a piece of writing paper with a little bit of collage. And this is from this original book, I believe, Index. More of the teacher's recording paper, a little more writing on that. This is fussy cut from another children's book, and I franken-paged this because this page was torn here and here. So I just added some scrapbooking paper onto that and made a pocket over here with some collaging and just some bits and pieces. This is scrapbooking paper here, and this is a replica of, those of my age will remember taking tests standardized tests where you filled in the bubbles for the answer. So that's a reproduction of that. And then this is another one of the McGuffey reader cards. And then this is another piece from Sally at Studio Rat. And this is a certificate of penmanship from the Oakland Public Schools. She's out in Oregon, and I'm in Georgia. So I've got all these neat things that are from the other side of the country to add in here. And this is from 1947. So thank you again, Sally. And that's Sally at Studio Rat. Another little collage on this pocket or tuck spot. And this is from a book that I had, and it's Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children. And it's the president and vice presidents and treasurer and executive committee. Then this was a happy find in some other book somewhere along the way that this was tucked in the book, and it is the definition of a noun. I thought, how appropriate. So it's tucked right in here, and then it has a person's name over here. Don't really know what this was for. It says key in parentheses here in red, so I don't know what that means, but the rest of this is written in pencil. So it tells you a word that is the name for something is what a noun is, and there's two kinds, the common and the proper. And it tells you what each of those are. So that's tucked right in there. I think that's very neat and quite appropriate. We have another napkin decoupage here, the other side of the records book with napkin and handmade paper here, just a little collaging. Then I've added another piece of fabric over here, and this is a vintage lace applied to the top. And then here is a bought pocket, but this is an image from the Childcraft book that color-wise matched perfectly. I loved the old-fashioned piano and the way the lady was dressed, so it just is collaged right there with a little piece of book page. And then this is a quarters wrapper. It's tucked in there. And then this is a Tim Holtz ephemera, and then just another piece of ephemera that I had in my stash. Collaging here. Okay, this is a little hard to read, but this is from scrapbooking paper as well. and it says Days Gone By. I went over it with a silver pen, hoping it would show up a little better. So it says Days Gone By. And then we have Children, fussy cut from another vintage book that I have. This is from scrapbooking paper. It says Childhood Dreams. The start of, I believe, the 5th signature. And then on this page, father with his daughter walking in the woods, and it says Imagine. Another flip with that ribbon through the holes there. This is also from the teacher's recording book, and another antiquarian sticker. This is again from the Victorian children's games, and this is an antiquarian sticker. Some scrapbooking paper collage right there that looks like stamps. And then this, I made a pocket on this side of another piece of flypaper from a different book, and it had this written on one side, or printed on one side. Have a couple of journaling cards in here in this 2 fabric pocket. I did not make it be 2 pockets. It's just 2 pieces of fabric layered, stitched, and over here we have it as a flip, so you can do some hidden journaling there. Here is the center of the signature, and I have another picture, and this is from the same book as the other picture I showed you, but I have imagined this as all the people through all the years who have used this book, and they had a reunion, and here they are. And that's my imagination for that. And then I have this vintage tag. You can tell by the writing that that's a vintage tag. And over here, I have just a journaling card. And then this is something I had in my stash. It's called School Days, Dear Old Golden Rule Days, Reading, Writing, Arithmetic, Taught to the Tune of Hickory Stick. You were my queen in calico. I was your bashful barefoot beau. You wrote on my slate, I love you so, when we were a couple of kids. I just thought that was cute and should fit, and fits in this book. I think I missed a page somewhere because I had some other photos that were loose. Anyway, different book, children's book. This is the other side of that fly leaf that somebody had made coloring on. I did not do that. Added fabric on this side of it, and then we have a little pocket with this vintage playing card that I think is adorable. That is so adorable. And tucked in here is a piece of leather that is stamped with Drake University 1881. This is a tobacco product, like a cigarette card, except it's a piece of leather. They did cigarette cards, they did these little leather things, they did little satin ribbon thingies, and they also did what they called flannels and rugs. So it's not just cigarette cards, but you've got other tobacco giveaways that came in packages. Anyway, a little collage here, napkin decoupage there. More of the children's games, and then this is an envelope that is stamped and embossed with just a little collaging that's tucked over the top, so you can use that as a tuck spot. And then in here I had this piece of ephemera, and here's a real help in arithmetic for our grade school friends, and it is the multiplication table from the Life Insurance Company of Georgia, which is where I'm from. So that is here. I don't know how old this might be, but I think it's really cool, and I just have it tucked right in there. Here's another piece of the scrapbooking paper that had the little quotes and things, quote strips. And then here is a pocket from another children's book. I love children's books. So here's a pocket from another children's book, and I've made this printed bingo card into a little tag with a bulb pen and a key. And this is the other staple. There were 2 staples in this book holding the pages together. So here's the other one, and it goes from here to here. That's how long the staple is. And it's just on this little fabric collage. And that is the end of that signature. And I think we are on the last signature. And this is from scrapbooking paper. And this label is on the picture. It came with it on the scrapbooking paper, but it was blank. So I decided that this was Charles and Emma from 1889. So I named them. And here's another ribbon laced through the paper here. Have a music sheet, and this is called Home on the Range. And on this side, it's Tootin' Turk. That's Tootin' Turk. And I decoupaged this napkin on top. And this is the title page from the teacher's class book where you use to record. And let's see, the copyright may be right here. Let's see. I thought it might be right here. Oh yes, here it is. It is 1886. So it's not quite as, it's older than I thought, but not quite as old as this reader is. It's from 1886. This is a cigarette silk, which is another one of the things that came in tobacco products along with or instead of a card. They also did fabric pieces, and this is from Nebo Cigarettes, and it is the flag of Australia, and it even says right here that factory number 7 in somewhere New Jersey. Oh, 5th District, New Jersey. So this is called a cigarette silk, and it is a piece of fabric that I just attached down. Then this is a friend of mine gave me this. This is target practice. So I have that in here. That's probably from the 70s. And then this is from one of my Antiques magazine, 1930s Antiques magazine, and it is the ad for some antique dealer having this dime library book, and that's the copy of the cover, the other side of the target. And then this is an image from another book with a little tab there, and on the other side I have a vellum pocket with another piece of dragonfly that I fussy cut, and I made a tag, and I made this tag so it looked like the dragonfly was landing on the stem of this flower, and this is a napkin decoupage onto a tag that was printed with a book page, and I just added a little bit of music paper to it. And then here is a pocket, and this is a piece of scrapbooking from a scrapbooking kit on schools or on school days or something like that. And I did a fabric decoupage, fabric collaging here with a little Tim Holt token that says listen. And then this is an image from another very old book. I only have a few pages, so I don't really know, but you can tell from the images that it's quite an old book. So I have on here Best Friends, and then I used a little bit of tape here because this page was beginning to tear a little. And then I have some more fussy cut dragonflies there. And then this is from another book, and it says The End at the top. So that is my McGuffey reader. I hope you enjoyed. I think I skipped a whole signature because, backing up, I think I skipped a whole signature because I had a pocket somewhere that was made from Braille paper, and I wanted to show that to you, but I don't know where it is now. So anyway, that's my McGuffey reader, and I appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe and hit the bell so you'll get future notifications of when I post a new video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.